Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me again on another Cleaning and Cocktails episode. Today I have the pleasure of talking to El Otro Familia, right? I got my family. This is another family I want to introduce you guys to. For those who don't know, the Moreno Associates out of California. This is an awesome story that I want to share you guys. It's been a long time coming. I met them when they came to our first Cleaning and Cocktails live event here in Chicago. They stuck out. They are a fun group, an exciting group, a motivated group, and it's a heartfelt story. And again, it felt like my story because of my family. So I'm excited to have Kylie Kennedy and Mr. Ernesto, Don Ernesto, from the Moreno Associates. You guys, quick shout out to you guys. Thank you for taking the time to join me on this show, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yes. Salute. Salute.
Cheers.
It's a triple shot tequila over there. So, everybody knows, you guys, we bring cleaning industry experts, subject matter, business owners, suppliers, manufacturers, everything and anything cleaning related. Because again, this show is about the audience. This show is about our industry, you guys. And I know how much you guys care about the industry. There's a lot that we're going to talk about. But I always start off because it always makes sense. And in this case, makes a shit ton of sense. And we swear a little bit here. That's okay. Is Ernesto, let's start with you where Big Papa, because I call Ernesto Big Papa, is where, your story's unique because you didn't get into the cleaning industry by opening a cleaning company, I believe. I think it came from the supplier side. So can you share with the audience, before even that, I'm sorry, who are we talking to? Kennedy, Kylie, and Ernesto, so people know.
Correct. Actually, I did come from the cleaning side, and then subsequently we augmented a supply side that we ran for a decade, and then merged in with Waxy Sanitary Supply because the delivery and fulfillment of supplies is a big boys game, as we're finding more and more so in our industry. And it was an interesting 10 years, and it's been it's part of the past now, but still we work very closely with Waxy. But Moreno Associates started 30 years ago as an opportunity that I had after I left partnership with a larger firm, and came from the industry initially by a family-owned BSC, Mr. Hank Sanchez at Acme Building Maintenance in El Viso, who brought me into the industry when I was in the restaurant business. And I think the most interesting story was that I had graduated Santa Clara University and had worked in the restaurant business and chose not to continue my bachelor's follow through with a master's degree in developmental psychology, which I had gotten. And Mr. Sanchez came into the restaurant that I was working, and he kind of vetted me and said, boy, I could really use somebody like you. And we made an agreement, and I went back to my parents and I said, thank you for my education. I just got hired as a janitor. And so
Best line ever.
And so my father said, well, if you're going to be a janitor, be a good one.
Yeah.
And off we went. And so that was probably almost 40 years ago. 40 years ago, 1983. And it's hard to believe, but worked with a couple companies, and subsequently in 1993, May 15th, we put our shingle out and started the business, and very blessed to say that 30 years later, coming up, we will be celebrating our 30th year in business. Now, the girls Kylie came on board 6 years ago.
2018, after I graduated college, and I came on full time. I knew that even when I was kind of, starting college, I knew that I was going to go to the family business because I didn't want to be anywhere else. And I grew up where people would ask me what, my dad did or what my family did for a living. And I would tell them, and it just was, you don't get the greatest reactions from people who are like, "Oh, janitor, okay."
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that,
you don't walk
pat on
into
the
a
head.
room. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
walk into a room and say, "Hey, I own a cleaning company." Well, now we do. Now we do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yes.
back then,
And then Kennedy, you came on board 4 years ago, almost 4 years.
Yeah, so a little bit over 3 years. I started at a very special time. I started in January 2020, which was
ooh.
2 months before COVID. So,
So you were one of the first disinfectant spray sprayers.
pretty much.
Did you put the Tyvek suit on?
Certainly I got downed up several times, but no, I started right at the beginning of COVID, and at that time everyone was kind of relearning how to do their own jobs, and I was just learning how to do my job. And so I was going into being an account manager, and what did we do on a daily basis? We go and visit clients at their building, and what did clients not want? Us at their building. So my job for a good year and a half was drastically changed from what it was before. And now, almost 3 years later, I'm actually transitioning out of account management and doing marketing. So I'm going to be full-time director of marketing, and that's really exciting, especially with the 30-year anniversary coming up.
There's a lot to market.
Yeah,
a lot to market. So let me ask you girls this: Did your dad put you guys through cleaning early on? Like before you guys played the role that you play today, did you know what the cleaning side was as far as servicing accounts?
So when we were younger, I mean, I don't know how old
Really
even
young.
I was when he would take.
So I don't think Ernesto wants you to say how old you were because labor laws.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
I was old enough, okay. And so we had a small little account, through the Special Olympics, and they had a little office building, and it was our family's account that he would take all 6 of us to go clean this building, 4 kids, all under, a young age where it would take, him cleaning it. It would probably take him maybe 30 minutes. It probably took us a good 2-3 hours where, but it definitely, I think it definitely it taught us a lot that okay, this is what Dad's company does, and this is what the family business is all about, and you should never be ashamed of this industry or of even the word janitor. There's so much pride in that word. Which was a cool experience for us to just have as a family. But when we both came in, we started on the customer service side, account managing, and that's where we got the most education to really know, okay, these are the services that we sell. These, this is what we do. This is what we actually do. And to have those conversations where you're even talking with, our utility teams on the nightly basis, all of our supervisors, you're even talking with employees on some days where, you really are in front of everything.
Yeah, in the thick of it. And we definitely, even as account managers, if something needs to get done and it's not getting done correctly, we're the first ones to go and put our foot forward and take care of it ourselves. There's been plenty of times where it's 7:00 and I'm heading to a job site, 7 p.m., and I'm heading to a job site to go take care of something that I know the client wants it done specifically, and I'm just going to go do it myself, and that's just normal. But yeah, ever since we were younger, we were always doing something with the company. And, as we got older, we were working warehouse and, doing paperwork and that kind of stuff. But it definitely started out with the cleaning because you have to know what what our bottom line is doing. You have to know how, the company survives. It's through those employees who are out in the field every single day.
Yeah. So like we could dig deep into this too. So this is good because again, this episode, I want to talk about like the fact that you guys are a family business. I'm a family business. There's so many family businesses in the cleaning industry. What you guys are speaking to, Ernesto, kudos to you for putting the girls through all this, the family. Like I feel it is a certain piece that they have to understand and learn right? Like, because you guys now think about what you're doing as leaders for the rest of the firm, because you lived it, walked it, breathed it. You know, like a lot of companies in our industry, I'll get, I'm sure you guys, Kyleigh, I know we're in that group together, right? Like there's a lot of business owners that think there's a fast track to success, right? There's a fast track to, I don't have to know the industry to work it. There's a lot of this snake oil that goes on, right? Like nothing is better than the traditional hands-on approach to learning the business first, hands-on, because nobody can speak it better than you guys can, right? Like think about it. Kennedy, you said you started in account management. Now you're in marketing. This shit's going to be easy for you because like you did the accounts, you did the cleaning, you know your dad, you know your sister, you know the industry. You could market the shit out of this, right? Like, it's not hard. It's not hard.
Yeah, you're right. And we were already doing, between me and Kyleigh, we were doing a lot of marketing already, but her full-time job is director of sales, and I'm an account manager with, 70 plus buildings myself. So it was important that now where we're at the place that we are, we have a full-time, director of marketing, because you're exactly correct. There's so much to work with, and having the background that I do with account management, I think was necessary, because I do know all those things very well. And I don't know everything. No. I still want to learn, I learn something new every day from the supervisors and from operations manager and operations director. But it's definitely a good starting point.
Oh yeah. And you guys, we can talk about this too, you'll see, I'm already talking about an episode that's not even aired yet, but a lot of my conversation with John earlier today was about executives coming in to firms. Because I didn't realize this, something that you guys, I didn't know this about John Barrett, but he never owned a cleaning company. He came in as an executive for cleaning businesses to run their business and work on the business for them. So something that we talked about, which is exactly what we just talked about here, is Ernesto, you built a business, you have a family, your succession plan. We've talked about that before in the past, past events that we've been in. A lot of times succession plans include the family, but maybe the family isn't always the right choice. But you've got two girls here that have degrees, they have the education, they've got the experience, they've got the bandwidth, they got the know-it-all. You may have to hire somebody here and there, but like you've got the recipe to be able to actually pass your business on as a legacy. Not many other companies will have that. But these girls know what you need, right? So Ernesto, talk about how proud you feel to know that you got two people right there on your right and left. Obviously, your wife and the rest of the family. Family's everything, guys. But again, what I want to share with you guys, like John says, this doesn't happen all the time. Again, he's got his opinion on certain things, but like I could attest to the same thing, is that it doesn't always happen that you have the right team around you that's family that you actually could rely on. Kylie's operations, Kennedy's business development, marketing, right? Like Kylie's helping on business development and sales too. But like Ernesto, how proud do you feel that you have this going on?
Well, it is. It would be easy for me to say it's overwhelming, but it's not. It was always a dream and desire to be able to pass it on to my family, because first and foremost, it's what I know for 40 years. And I wanted to be able to pass along the fact that our business has an opportunity for all my children to do what other businesses and other of their peers go out and seek, right? Because I know this was the party house. Our house was the party house. All the kids would come. Hey,
I never got invited. Nobody ever invited me though.
It's an open door out here, West Coast. But what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to get a sales and marketing job. Hey, Julie, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to go to human resources. Hey, so-and-so, what are you going to do? I'm going to be a salesman. Hey, so what are you going to do? Well, I'm in operations for a trucking company. Okay. I turn around and I said, yes, our primary focus is we do building maintenance. Okay. That is where we inject ourselves into the world. But with respect to building maintenance, let me break it down for you, family. We have sales and marketing. We have operations. We have finance. We have human resources. We have sales. And all those things that all your friends are going out to do and find jobs to go work for other people are happening right here at Moreno and Associates. And if I can make an economy that's fair to where y'all can go be competitive, oh, my buddy just bought a BMW. Oh, so I got something else. Wherever you feel comfortable at, I think your economy can be made here. And I would rather share that with my family than to bring somebody from the outside. That being said, the double-edged sword is you have to earn it. And you have to know what you're doing, because you're not going to succeed at this company because your last name is Moreno. You're going to succeed at this company because your last name is Moreno. And you say it in two different ways, and it means two separate things. And so because they are wearing that Moreno logo on their chest, which also means they're a Moreno, they have a double responsibility. For one is to be the best at what they do, and two, to represent the company the best they can, because they're also representing the family. And at this point in time, all four of my children, obviously we have one, two still in school, but when they have worked for us, I've never seen them come with the proverbial silver spoon in their mouth and saying, oh, I don't have to do that. And I've got stories that can that I could tell in infinitum as to how they've proven themselves in their position. And let me tell you, I don't back down off of them. I hold them to the same standard, if not higher standard than the rest of my team.
Oh,
and I have a great team. I have a great non-family member in every position right now that have been with me from Stacy Hacker, 30 years, to Paul Lima, that I've known for 32 years, but is also our director of operations, Salvador Monero, operations managers, but started as a custodian, now he's the operations manager, to Sandra and Gina and Sangeetha and all my supervisors. It's a team, and very blessed to have family members there, but it's more than just us. You've met the team. You met a good portion of the team in Las Vegas a couple of years back, 35 stories up. And it continues. And the transition that we're going through, as every industry goes through, it's been mind-blowing what happened on, March 16th, 2020, to where we are today. And I find that I could be part of no better team than the team that I'm part of today.
Nah, man, I would tell you, Ernesto, you got a lot to be proud of, man. Like, it's cool to see what you guys are doing. Again, like I said, it's like looking in the mirror with what we're doing over here. You said it too, like, it's your family that's involved. I'm going to talk about the K squad here, because I just realized you guys have 4 kids named with the first letter being K. I got to talk about that, but I'm not. Give me 1 second. Like, if people knew, right, Ernesto, you tell me, if people knew like how hard I came down on my mom. You guys met my mom here in Chicago. That's my mom, right? She runs a certain department in the business. My aunt runs a certain department in the business. Like, a lot of the non-family members, which are still family because they're Rosalato blood, right? I treat my whole company here at Rosalato as family. But you know how hard, like, we come down on our mothers. We always joke, me and Tony are like the moms. Yeah, I guarantee you, I know how hard you come on your family, because the expectations are that much higher, because you said you've got to this position because you're a Moreno, not because you got to this position because you're a Moreno. It's a big difference. It really is. And Kyleigh, I'll let you take this one. Is you know, I know we're the most engaged on, you know, on the mastermind group, and I see you're busy, you're doing this, doing that. What does Kobe and Cassidy do for you guys in the business? Because I got to be honest, I remember Kobe's name being brought up. I didn't know you guys had
The baby.
We've got the
Baby.
Yeah.
Kay, like what is the what Kay? What's the infatuation with Kay when Moreno? I see the M in the back. What came to be the infatuation with Kay?
I know that my name was written down on a little piece of paper in my mom's desk growing up. So that was my name. They spelled it the way that they did, Kyleigh, which
I still have to double check that
everybody
spelling
off.
every time. Yeah, I gotta double check that spelling every time. I'm like,
I always like to see people's face when I tell them how it's spelled. But I mean, I think my dad could maybe speak on why they just decided to keep on going with the K's.
So Kennedy was going to be an issue whether Kennedy was a boy or a girl. Okay, and so Kennedy came.
Well,
and
the story about that one that I heard was that they thought of it in the drive-through of a Taco Bell.
solid.
So I don't
late
know.
night Taco Bell.
Had to have been, right? Had to have been. I love Taco Bell, so I'm not saying there's a relation, but
So Kennedy was going to happen, and so pregnancy number 3, we are in Pacific Grove, and we're about to go into a restaurant, and Stacy had the name book out, and she had all sorts of things written down, and she said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Oh, you're actually asking what I think the name for our next child should be." And we knew our son was coming. I didn't want any surprises. Kylie was the only surprise. We didn't know what it was, but the rest we kind of wanted to know. But so we were sitting at the restaurant parking lot, and I looked up, and there was a company called Colby Blinds, like the blinds for windows. And I said, "What do you think about Colby?" And she goes, "Well, it's spelled with a C." And I said, "Well, yeah, spelled with a K." And so I said, "We're down that road anyway." So Kolbey, Kate and Colby. And then once you're 75% in,
No, you're all the way. You got to go all the way.
yeah, there's no way that Cassie would have been called Juliet. You know, I mean, it just wouldn't have happened. So Cassidy came, and subsequently, that it just happens that all their middle names start with N's, as in Nancy.
The girls.
The girls.
The girls are
And
K and M.
yeah, K and M. And my son has about 7 names. You know, he's Joseph Colby Bailey Moreno. And so he literally has been thrown off airplanes because we didn't make the reservation right under the right name. So he's had to go. And he one time he came back and he goes, "What's my effing name?" "Well, just tell me how to make a reservation. What is my effing name? What do I put? Joseph? Do I put Colby? Do I put Bailey? What do I put? Because I can't get kicked off an airplane anymore."
Oh my God.
So he's definitely goes by Colby, but he has to reserve airplane rides as Joseph Colby or Joseph Moreno.
You're making life difficult, man. Come on, Ernesto.
I seem to do that.
All right, so Kylie, let's go back to you on. I know we talked. I think we're at Angel's event the last time. Angel and James at the Profitable Cleaner event. You were big on. I remember hearing you talk a lot about efficiencies and processes, and I want to bring this up because I know us being a family business, like. Again, we build our business on instinct, you guys, right? Like Ernesto, I know you build it a lot on instinct. You got your family that came up and you really got the support from them. But Kylie, if you you're put in the position to understand how to be, if you guys are 10, 15, 20 million, you want to get to 40, 50, 60. What are things for other family business owners that are listening and watching, whether they have multiple family members or they're about to have their second family member? What are the most important processes or efficiencies that you think that a cleaning company should put in place, again, early on or as they're growing?
You know, the first word that jumps out at me is patience, first of all, first and foremost. I mean, when I came on full-time 5 years ago, there were a lot of things that we were doing, the protocols or processes that we kind of had in place. I'm like, hey guys, let me introduce you to Google Drive. Let me introduce you to collaborative, working together. And, 5 years later, we're still, we're teaching, but everyone's a lot better than they were last year and the year before that. And we're growing, and it's a lot of, like I said, patience. But, especially in a family business, we're lucky that the six of us are so close. But there was a big learning curve when I came on first, because my dad and I are very similar. Like, we will butt heads and then, we're fine. But we had to remember that we can't butt heads and we can't scream at each other in the middle of the office like we would if we were at home.
Oh, yeah, we still do that. That's something I should learn from.
Yeah. And, so, we've gone a lot better, and I had to learn and mature on how to, be my, in the office as my own role, and not every little thing come to my dad and say, hey, like, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? Because he would start screaming at me like, what the hell's going on? Like, now I need to get involved, and you're telling me this, and you're riling me up. So now I know it's like, okay, I don't need to run and tell him every little thing. Maybe like the bigger things I'll talk to him about. And, obviously he's my greatest mentor, and I've learned so much, and I continue to learn every day. That's why I never want him to retire fully, and he'll never do that. But, even when Kennedy came on board full time, I mean, we're 18 months apart.
Yeah.
And, we've grown up. We shared a room with each other, and then we went to the same schools with each other until college, and then we had that break time. But I mean, I'm sure she can even say that I wasn't the nicest, oldest big sister in the world.
I mean, it's typical big sister, young sister
but
thing.
when we came into the office, it was like, okay, there's no cat fights in the office.
Yeah.
There's no don't scream at me like you would do if we were standing in the kitchen or, standing in our bedroom kind of thing. So
there was definitely a learning curve with that too when I came on, and, she is my boss.
Yeah.
And, we figured it out pretty quickly after the first couple of fights. It was, okay, we can't talk to each other like that here. Okay, we have to figure things out differently here, because not only are we, embarrassing ourselves in front of everybody else, but also it makes us look, we're already younger than everybody else. So it makes us look even 10 years younger, because everyone who works for the company, they all saw us growing up.
They've known us before we were born.
Exactly.
And so it's getting that also, like, I was very cognizant of the fact that, okay, even though I'm in this role of, now I'm director of business development, and I've been doing that full time for about 2.5 years now. It was, a lot of reminding myself that, okay, understand that these are people that have known you since you were in diapers.
Yeah.
It's also a learning curve, I think, for the other side to say, okay,
we're adults now,
and we're not 12.
Yeah.
And we're coming in, and we have,
fresh ideas.
And, no one negates the fact that we are 30 years in business, which is a huge accomplishment to my dad.
Massive accomplishment. You guys.
Yeah.
Like, you guys should hold, again, like, statistics in the industry, just so you guys know, like, if you reach 10 million in revenue, you're already top 1%. If you reach 15 million in revenue, you're like top 0.7%. Like, you guys have accomplished a shit ton. And not to mention, because we're fellow Latinos, is Latinos are, this is the future of the industry. Is usually we are the workforce. We are now growing into the ownership of the businesses. So kudos to you guys for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you guys are both right. Kylie, Kennedy, it's very tough. You guys are the younger generation coming in. you're trying to make an impact, but yet also being respectful of what your father has built. But that speaks to, Ernesto, like the fact that, we got to be okay with, there's that layer of management that comes in after you reach a certain point that, dude, if you're going to allow your company to scale, you have to be okay with your daughters are bringing in a fresh view pane of an outlook of, sales, business development, marketing. But you have the experience that comes in on the back end with accounting, finance, operations, and all that. So it's not easy. It really isn't easy. There is no magic pill. There is no formula that a cleaning company or any company in general can say, this is how you do it. Like, you guys are living it. You guys are doing it. I love the word that you guys have right in front of me as I'm looking at it constantly because it's right there. Is everything you guys have done, I gotta believe, has been built on intention. Like, there is an intentional approach to what you have done. And I sit here and I watch your father in the back sit there and, I see him smile and smirk here and there, and hearing you guys talk, like, he's a serious guy, but at the same time, he allows you guys to speak your voice. It's again, for people that are listening and watching the show, it's a great story because the Moreno name, I see the M, just like people love the R. I love the M. It's branding. It's recognition to your father and your name. What can you tell other family business owners right now that whether, again, it's a husband and wife, it's a cousin, it's a brother, it's a brother and sister, they're going to struggle the first couple of years, maybe the first 4 or 5 years. Like, what have you guys together 30 years later now that are like just metrics from a family dynamic that you guys can tell people, this is what you should be thinking about, hold on to, and be thankful of?
So let me start with that, because with the word that's in front of us, with intention, I tried probably for the last, maybe 10 years to try to find out the way that I've been able to scale as a small business owner is to be able to take every respect of what I would do 30 years ago, where I would be handling the operations, sales, marketing, customer service, everything but the accounting portion of the business, and try to replace myself. So if I could replace myself in operations, I could go out and sell more. If I could replace myself in customer service, I could go out and manage better. And so that's how we basically scaled. But one of the most important things in a family business, because you do bring in outside players, is that our industry, as we've met everybody across the country over the years, Vegas and Chicago and different places that we've been, Denver, is that our industries are fairly similar. I mean, what we do is what we do. Building maintenance, in some respect, it could be for different clients or what have you. But the most important thing for me was to have my team, especially my family, understand that as long as our name is on this company, we have to represent who we are completely to the client. Because if we let other people run the company with intention of learning, growing, and moving on, they're going to take that client with you, with them. Okay. But if our client understands that all of what we provide in services is directly related to who we are as a family, if somebody from outside the family leaves to go somewhere else, there's a good chance that we're going to retain that business because the relationship is with the family member, even though somebody else might be handling it. So my family needs to always stay out in front to make the client feel that they're getting the service that they require, they're getting what they expected to pay for, but it's being provided by the Moreno family. And whether your last name is Lima or Hacker or Monero, you're representing the Moreno family. And so besides the familiar part of the family, there's also my extended family like you have. And so that's, for the most part, what I've tried to impart to my kids is that they always have to have a touch on the client.
Yeah. So, you guys, let's talk about now the fact that you built what you built. And I always talk about this all the time. I mean, you guys probably hear me talk about it. The cleaning industry has opened up a lot of doors for me. I feel like it's opened up a lot of doors for you guys, right? Where I don't think many people know about Zamana. I think you guys should be promoting that a little bit more. We'll talk about that later. But what is it? So you got Kennedy, you got Kyleigh. Everybody's working on the business of Moreno Associates. The cleaning industry is your core competency. It's your core project. It's your core everything. Where did the opportunity or the concept of Zamana, am I pronouncing it right? Right, Zamana?
Yeah.
Where did that come from, and why should the cleaning industry know about that? Because I think it's a pretty unique concept, and I think it's pretty cool that you guys came up with that. Because I think the best solutions in our space come from cleaning company owners that actually felt that pain point and are giving back to the community. So, could you guys share a little bit about that?
Sure. So for over 30 years, I've always tried to figure out how we could impart proper training and education to the people that make the money for us, which is the frontline worker. And I literally, at 10 o'clock at night, would be in the middle of one of the buildings that I was cleaning or supervising, and we'd have the video camera out, and we pretend to do what we were doing to show the custodian how to sweep, mop dust, what have you. And so it was always my desire to get the proper training program into the hands of the frontline worker. About 10 years ago, by a good friend of mine named James Roberts out of Salt Lake City, Utah, he called me and he said, "Hey, I met these guys. They're film producers out of Hollywood. They come out of the industry, and their biggest goal with this new company they have, at the time it was called Living English, that we transitioned into Zamana. They wanted to build a company that would speak to the blue collar worker. And everything that I'd seen in training to that point probably started with the guy with the polo shirt, going up to the guy with the button down white shirt, and up to the guy in the tie. It was everything for administration, supervisory, and executive, but there wasn't a lot for the frontline worker. And I said, I really like this. And I said, what do you have? And they showed me their first rendition of their videos that they wanted to get into people's hands. And this is well before the smartphone. And I said, you've got something here. I think that as the computer industry matures, that we'll be able to get this to our employees somewhere or another. And David Braun, David Lewine, who are the principals of the company, they've been working hard to try to fit into the industry the best they can, because truthfully, their intent is to hit all verticals, and starting with the building maintenance industry. And we're close. You know, it's been a lot of changing, and we don't write code, so we have to get people to do that for us, and so
know the issue.
And how do we best deliver it?
Are you saying
investment?
Are you saying janitorial store did not provide that, or are we?
No,
what's going on with that?
I am not involved at the executive level of the contract negotiations, and it's close. Armando is a wonderful guy who bought us an incredible dinner in Chicago. I'm still trying to
hold on. He bought you guys. Oh, I got to talk to this guy. That's it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he took us to dinner, and I think
He used
Smith
your
and
credit card.
Westies.
I'm pretty sure he used my credit card.
Yeah, I think he used your credit card, and I'm still, because we are not. I got to be honest with you. We are not holding paying card members of the janitorial store, and which has gone through iterations on iterations, which you guys purchased from a couple that I did not know that had the business for years, and the library that is there is extensive. And from what I understand, what I looked at and perused, a lot of the videos that are the janitorial store are extensively long, and Zamana tells a story in a very short 2 to 3 minute episodes in very telenovela style, and I really believe that it's a great fit. Might not be. It might not be the only fit, since there's a million janitorial companies out there, and if Armando were to be able to get Zamana a million janitorial companies, and I wouldn't even look at anybody else. But it's not my call. What I would pretty much call my call, Ricky, is I'm a technical advisor. I'm when they put it on film, it has to be real, because any janitor would call bullshit the minute they saw it. Yeah. And everything that we've produced is not BS. It's what I want to, when I describe the platform or the videos, I call them as they create awareness. They are dialogue creators. They're consequential videos. If you don't do this, then this might happen. So let's talk about this. And it's not formatted OSHA style. It's formatted dialogue style. Let's learn from what we can teach you, and then you can look at the specifics down the road. Yeah. So I'm hoping the best for our team at Zamana, but when it comes to what we do here at Moreno, we try to stay in our lane, janitorial wise, and maintenance, building maintenance, and the things that we provide. C33 paint and decorating license. Mark Paternini does a great job doing that. And we stay in our lane. Because I've got such great directors, it allows me to have more time with David Braun and David Lewine and that team at Zamana. And so I can be more involved with them. And we're hoping that it'll be a really good add-on and promotion to our industry in learning and training.
At what point do you feel, and I want to give kudos to James and Angel and Yagal, because I think they came out to you guys, right, recently.
That was incredible.
Yeah. So like you guys have taken a step. You're trying to build your leadership. You're trying to build the team. You're trying to reconnect everybody that you have with the current, either old management, with the new management. How important was that to you guys to like, your Ernesto's built what he's built for you guys. You guys are coming in. Talk about that dynamic for people. I know we're coming into the end of the episode, but I feel like this is so crucial for family businesses to understand, or any business, what you guys are going through 30 years later, and you're still focused and working on the business.
So let me just start, and then I'll step aside, because I think what I just said means what I mean. As a business family owner, and everything that I've done raising my family and still having a company and working hard towards that and having great people that surround me, 30 years later, Stacy Hacker is going to retire coming to the end of this year. And she was one of the impetuses that helped me enjoy my family while she was holding down the ship. And but she's her way, and I'm my way. And when the girls started looking at joining these groups that they were in, Kyleigh primarily at first, she was looking at these different groups that she was in, she would bring it to me. And it would be very easy as the founder of this company to say, you'll do it my way. I got us here. Just go to work and do what you need to do. Instead, I feel very confident that when they started bringing in like Google, chats and meets and Google Drive, that I said, wow, this could help us. And so you fast forward to a couple of years ago, and they kind of started bringing us into these groups and peer groups and stuff. And I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to kind of step aside and let them go bring our industry into the future of peer groups and sharing and commiserating and stuff while still maintaining our core essence of who we are as a company. So that's where I am now. I will listen to what they have to say. I won't chase my tail, and I won't stop my desire to stay in our lane, but I listen to them, and they have incredible ideas. And so I step aside a lot, and I let them move forward, because I'm going to be more in an advisor role moving forward than I am as a frontline administrator. So, ladies.
So are we saying that me and you are going to play golf more at your resort? Are we going to play golf more? Are you saying that because you came to Cleaning and Cocktails, me and you are going to play golf more?
You just tell me where, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
I could host a beautiful tournament at Las Vegas Country Club, but next time we go to Vegas in September.
There has been a lot of progress over the years, and integrating of not only Google Drive but just technology in general into an industry which you speak on all the time. Is we are behind. We're behind the wheel when it comes to bringing our industry into the technology space of how can we work smarter, not harder. And yes, it's going to be a learning curve, and it's going to take a lot of onboarding and a lot of training. But you know what? This is where our clients want us to be. Yeah. I lost a big opportunity back in November, and the sole reason was because we didn't have the technology that was, required that they wanted. And that still hurts, and felt like a punch in the gut, because I'm like, gosh, I've been saying this, that we need to get there because our competition is already there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see this as a priority. And, and we've been good, we've been users of team software and WinTeam for 5 years. Right when I came on board, we were transitioning from Salesforce to team software. And, in every technology, it's not going to be perfect. You are always going to find something. But, that's as we're continuing to navigate through that. And, if we need to stay where we are, or do we need to make a switch into something different, which is a whole different, it's a big ask from the team to completely download from one system, jump into the next, not knowing if it's going to be better than where we currently are. And I understand that when you move, we've got 210 employees, mm-hmm. and it was a struggle, and there was a lot of pushback in the beginning when we brought on, where, yeah, you've got to clock in and clock out on your phone. This is how you're going to do it. And if you have an issue with that, then, that's our company policy. And it was like, you're going to have a hard time going to other companies right now that are not doing the same thing. Because now everything is on a mobile app. It is, you've got buildings that are geo-fenced, and everything is really in the palm of your hands now. But it's been a challenge, and I think technology will always just be a challenge in general. But our team has done a lot of, moving in the right direction, which is all I can ask, is that we're just open and let's sit through the demo. Let's learn more. Let's learn something that we don't know, because, we've been very successful for 30 years, but then I'm told, hey, you guys aren't good enough to take this, $2 million a year building because you don't have the tech. And I'm like, gosh, that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you guys, Kyleigh, that's not cool to hear. It isn't cool to hear, right? Like you want to know, or you want to think that you can compete with the bigger guys, but I'll tell you, there is a lot of technology out there that will give you that power. But you said first and foremost is the team has to embrace it, right? Like it is not easy. Like as much as we think, and it's crazy because I've only been in the space for 10 years, owning Roselato for 7 years. I thought time and attendance was always part of the game. I thought geofence was a part of the game. I thought work schedule, inspections, like I just assumed this was all digital when I first came in. And you will lose business because you don't have a pulse of the business that's going on. So you will not get the opportunity of these larger contracts. But I would say it is our time now more than ever because you guys are super smart. I know what you're doing. I know how advanced you guys are. And Ernesto, again, you got a great group of team behind you here that this is the future. The future is technology. The future is Zamana that you guys are building. The future is, everything that we're building around us, because if you do not give the client the confidence that you know what the hell is going on every minute of the day, every day of the day, you got response times. People want a response within 2 hours. How are you supposed to have that if you don't know what just happened the night before? If you cannot keep up, you're not going to, compete with the bigger companies. So you guys are on the right track, man. You guys, like the word that it says in front of you guys have every intention to compete. You guys have every intention to be a brand. I give kudos to what you guys are building at Moreno and Associates. I wanted to end with we have 2023 in front of us. What do you guys see that is in this year's vision of what do you guys want to do as a small business to medium-sized business? Because we're still medium-sized, like small to medium-sized. It's crazy. Kudos to you guys, kudos to us, right? We are in the top 1% of the industry, but yet the 0.9 of the 1% is so much larger. What challenges do you guys want to take on that other small business owners should see that you got, Ernesto, you got two strong women right here, right? You got two strong women-owned people in the roles that, again, Latina, women, it's a big deal, man. I don't want to call it out, but it's a big deal. What is it you guys want to show people that you're taking on and that we have the right to take on and show people that, it's very possible?
Okay, for one, because I know my mom will give a shit about it. Representing our Portuguese side too.
I did not know that. Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, good.
Yes, I was just thinking of all the things she's going to say later when she watches this.
Yeah.
One of the things which, we talked about it, that we brought in Angel James with Day Porter and Yagal, who you met when we were in Denver, and bringing them on board to, we invested into ourselves. Yeah. Angel says it, he says, you got to pay to play. And sometimes you do need to write that check because that your return is going to be exponential. And, it's like, we made a huge investment into our front line this year of raising our minimum wage. We're out in San Jose in California, so some people can, see how much we need to pay as minimum wage. But our minimum wage at our company, we set it across the board. That's above pretty much all the cities around in the Bay Area that we service in the Silicon Valley. $16.50 for just standard night custodian at night. Last year, we raised them. This year in January, they went from $16.50 to $18 an hour. So it's things like that you're making an investment back into your people that are going to take you to that next level. So with that, you find, there's a lot of education we're going to do this year. And with that, we hope to see a lot of growth, not only as a company, but I think to see the individual growth of the people on our team who have their own, not only business goals, but personal goals that you're able to see them accomplish. And I think that's one of the coolest things. We're blood, but at the same time, every person in our office might as well be blood too.
Yeah.
And that's just how we all act. And I'm sure you guys are the exact same way. But just to see people grow on their own as people is pretty cool and very special.
Definitely solidifying our team is something I think we're working on a lot this year, because it's very important to have, we want everyone on the same page. We want everyone to know, to be on the same page with what our mission is. And then just doing the dirty work. Like me and Kyleigh this year, I think our biggest thing is just networking. We have a social event tonight that we're going to because, they call our dad the mayor of San Jose because of just how much networking he has done throughout his life.
It's a big reason why he has been so successful for 30 years.
Organically.
Is that he has gotten into rooms and people know who he is just by him walking up and saying, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And just inserting yourself. So that's something we're trying to do more this year.
But
what are we doing to cleaning and cocktails in San Jose? That's the question.
You just tell us.
Come on.
Just tell us.
Exactly.
We have the venue. We have everything. So you just tell us.
All right.
Well, I think to wrap things up really quick, on my end, March 20th of 2020, I constantly say this, we went away as that dusting and cleaning company. And by March 25th, they were asking us to be biophysicists because there was this incredible virus that was out there. And for 40 years that I've been in the industry, we've been telling our clients that bacteria and viral infections are part of the reason why we're in your building. And I think more so moving forward, and you say, what do we want to get out of this, is we want validation to who we are. We don't want to be embarrassed about lowering our rates for people to provide the services that they need to keep the environment in which they work a healthy place. And we're the only ones that can provide that for them outside of the HVAC groups and outside of, but the people that touch their physical space, the people that touch the place where they do their private work, that's us. And we are working with intention. We are validating who we are, and we're not afraid to ask for the rate that we need to get to do our job appropriately. And so hopefully the rest of our competition feels the same way, and they can take on our challenge to work with intent and to create the validation as we have amongst all of our peers that we're meeting at Cleaning and Cocktails, that we're meeting amongst other people that are industry nationwide. We are a strength that these clients called on us to make their spaces livable. Yeah. And I mean, that's an incredible responsibility that we took on. And we took on, they didn't by chance give us the title of essential worker. We were essential workers because people needed to get into their environments, and we were the ones that provide them that pathway in which to get there.
Good points. Good points, Ernesto. I mean, that speaks to like what you guys care about with the space, right? Like, I mean, if anybody that's listening right now could know is you guys truly do care about what we're doing. You guys truly care about the industry that we're building here, the community that we're building. What I think falls short sometimes is like, this is a very competitive industry, but have you guys, I think you guys have seen that in the past couple of years, collaboration has been more put in the forefront than ever before. And I think it's important that we all collaborate and we all work together because, I mean, this shit ain't easy. It's not easy. Like, it is a lonely world. It's a lonely space. There's a lot of bigger companies that actually take all the business and we don't get the seat at the table. But guess who is going to give us the seat at the table is if we work together to get there. So I'm excited that, well, not excited because I heard Kylie told me you guys aren't coming to my event. So that's,
No,
we'll talk about that later. But
able to make a trip to DC because I love DC. I love it. I wish we were able to, but in March is just that weekend is the worst time for just collectively as our family. But
it's okay. I understand.
We already
No hard
told you we
feelings.
could be a
No hard
host.
feelings.
A host
Totally understand. You guys need to be a host for me on the West Coast because we have a lot of people
There's a
asking
lot
on
of
the
good
West
West Coast people over here. Yeah.
No, I have a lot of people asking, so this is going to be good. If people are listening,
We can set it up.
Because you guys are, where are you at? San Jose, right? We're in San Jose?
We're in San Jose.
San Jose, okay.
So
Cool.
we are, for
Northern
people that,
California.
yeah, so if people don't really know San Jose because people just think California, SF.
San Francisco, yeah.
Well, I'd say San Jose is the true heart of the Silicon Valley, first of all. But we are about 45 minutes south of San Francisco.
Directly at the bottom of the bay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're closer to the Rosewood. The Rosewood that's
Where's
by,
In Palo Alto.
yeah,
Stanford Rosewood Hotel.
Hotel.
that's my hotel. That's my hotel right there.
Palo Alto.
Yes, we're closer
Yeah.
to Palo Alto.
All right. So should we have a cleaning
so-
cocktails there?
No.
No.
Bring it down in. Bring it down into San Joe.
All right. So I'm going to bring it down there. All right. So guys, we will wrap up because it's already past the time that we should have taken. But again, you guys are my family, so we take the time that we need to take. If anybody listening right now has to hear anything right now from you guys as a family business, as Kylie, you came into this, we didn't even talk about you guys being fucking golf superstars. That's a whole nother fucking conversation. I'm sorry, I swore like 3 times there. But
Yeah.
is there anything that you guys want to add to the episode to share with anybody else that's listening? This would be the time.
I want to say something.
Boom.
We know a good amount of other family businesses that have sacrificed the relationship in their family for their business. And I think the biggest piece of advice that I can give to any other family business out there that might be having issues, and everyone will have issues, but issues to the point where you might be destroying your family, is never sacrifice your blood, your family for the business. That sometimes it just is not going to work. And I would hope that, if people get to that point where they're really, where I don't want to talk to my sister, I don't want to even look at my brother because we had issues in the conference room the other day and they just don't get it. And I don't want to take, any kind of direction from them because they're younger than me. That might be the time to walk away. And, it's just really understanding where you are as a family, because I know that it would absolutely devastate my parents that if the 4 of us were to split up for that reason, because the business side didn't work out and we all 4 of us are in the office together and we hate each other for that. I know that would break their hearts. So I would never want anyone else to sacrifice their family structure for that.
It's obviously easier said than done, and maybe we're special in that light because with us, nothing's behind a curtain. Every emotion we have, we wear it on our sleeve. So that also might just be a little nugget that it's okay to have those arguments, and those arguments aren't the end of the world. It's not the end of your business. They're going to happen and you have to let them happen. But you have to work through them. And something we learned on a smaller scale was, not everyone sitting at the dinner table works in the office every single day. So maybe you shut up talking about work for a little bit and have a conversation about life. That's also important to remember.
We had to learn that. That was
have fun. Still have fun. You're still a family. Business is business, but business can be fun, and family time is family time. It doesn't always have to be business.
And it's hard when it's your life. Like every day you're talking about the office. It's like there's always something like, how can we do better here? Let's, kind of bitch about what happened the other day. But then we do have to step back and say, listen, this might not be a great conversation for Mom or Colby or Cassidy to listen to. We'll talk shop, of course, as a family. And, my mom is my dad's chief advisor, who, and they make sure that, even though my mom is not physically present in the office, which is probably why they're still married 28 years later, that, he does still treat her in that advisory role that, listen, we're a partnership. And, my mom feels respected and valued in that way, but she doesn't see the day to day. So it's, it's definitely, we're still learning how to navigate, like, hey, like, we're sitting at dinner. Let's just turn off Moreno and Associates right now, and let's talk about other things.
No, I know, Ernesto, you're going to talk about it, but like, dude, it strikes a chord. It really does strike a chord, because like it really is hard. Like, you guys we were just talking about my vacation that I just had. Half the vacation was business, right? Like me and Marley, my wife, my fucking, godsend, my partner in life is, that's what I started the cleaning company with. And she was like, dude, I want to hear about it though. I do. I actually want to hear about it. I want to talk about it. I want to understand what's going on. I want to know what's happening. I actually am appreciative. So I know, Ernesto, I'm gonna let you take it off from here, but like, dude, I feel you guys. I feel you guys for sure.
Well, bottom line is that as we started, you asked me the question how I feel. Well, I am beyond blessed. Beyond blessed to be where we are 40 years later in the industry, 30 years with Moreno. But I'm going to paraphrase or be specific as to my longtime dear friend, Paul Lima, and director of operations in our industry, to the people that are listening that want to hold heart to our industry, is that if it were easy, everybody would do it. And what you need to do is you need to under-promise and over-deliver, okay? And show up on time and listen and shut up and just do what you need to do. Never undervalue who you are as a provider, and, charge appropriately. But one of the things that I've always told my team is not one of them have ever gone to work with a budget at their hand that has restricted them. Do what you're supposed to do it right, and your value will be shown over the long haul. And so we're in the business not for a quick buck. We're in the business to show who we are and be valuable as a company. And when that comes out, because we all want to make money, but we don't want to steal money. We want to earn the money. And so I can't be with a better team, can't be with better people. And we can't thank you enough, Ricky, for giving us this opportunity to share our story. And really have appreciated the last couple of years that we've been friends.
Dude, hey, and talk about an end to this conversation. You guys, like, we met, Kylie, I knew who you were with the mastermind group. You guys came here to the event here in Chicago. But like, when you guys came, I was like, man, who is this guy? I was like, who is Big Papa? I was like, hold on, what's going on here?
San Jose.
Hey, so what I want people to understand is, so when we did our first event, like, it was all about just exposure to just. I wanted to bring brands to the cleaning industry. I wanted to bring the small cleaning companies that had no exposure to who a pro team was, Staples, Home Depot, Spartan. Again, like, the bigger companies, they know who they are, but the smaller guys may not know who these bigger companies are. And then here we go. We got this guy over here with like 5 people. I'm like, what? Like, man, who is this company?
We did come with an entourage.
So we got 100 companies, you guys. Like they're here, everyone's engaged, and I have this like big papa guy. I'm like, who is this guy? Because we did not know each other. Again, Kylie, I knew who you were, but like I did not know the whole story behind Moreno Associates. So then when you guys came, my mom's like, Ricky, hey, these guys, there's a big family. That's a big family. Like they're, do you know who they are? I was like, Mom, I don't know. I'm going to go find out right now. But you want me to go find out? I'm going to go talk. But then I got all the coordination and they're like putting me over there. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he started talking about tequila. And I was like, all right, that's it. Game over. We got cleaning. He's a Moreno. He's talking about tequila. I was like, game over. This is my favorite family right now. Like my family is Regalado. I got a family named Moreno. But so people that are listening in now, because we're going to end here. I'm sorry. We took it over. Is you guys are from California. You flew to Chicago to take a whim on what we were doing here. And we build a community and we build what we're building. And you guys are building Zamana. You guys are building Moreno. You guys are building everything you're doing. I just want to give you guys a kudos to like, not everybody can do what you're doing, and that's okay. Don't get me wrong. But kudos to you guys because a family means everything. And the fact that you guys back each other up has got to give people proof in this industry that family business is okay. Friendship is okay. Because the one thing I think people forget about is friendship. It's okay to build a business with a friend. I've got 3 friends in my company right now. These are my guys. These are my ride or die guys. These are my people that, you guys have met Dominic before. These are my guys. Like they fucking ride or die. It doesn't have to be all about family. It's a camaraderie and the culture that we built. And it's everything that we are doing that you guys have proven with the name that you guys have put in there, intention. Build the intention. Prove that you want to do what you're doing. I just want to give you guys a mic to just say, what is the last words that you guys want to give to anybody else that's listening right now?
One of the things I was going to say earlier was I think our biggest motto that we say all the time, 3 words. What is it? If it's not illegal, immoral, or unsafe, do it. And that at Moreno is what we live by. And I highly believe that
Shout
that's
out Pauline,
why where we are.
Director of Operations, who's always have that motto. But I mean, it really is like
It's true.
I'm going to take a little bit longer to say this, but I mean, you talked about that. Like, what brought me or us to Chicago was I was a part of that mastermind group where I knew you. You reached out to people and said, "Hey, I'm doing this thing," and I went to my dad and said, had to, coerce him a little bit and say, "Would you want to go to Chicago and let's meet these people?" And I'm really passionate about it, and was the best decision we ever made because it opened up a lot of doors in many places, and it's just been a blessing since then. And I would tell people that, don't be afraid to leap. Don't be afraid to jump. Like if you are hesitant about something, it's important that you do have hesitation and you think about it, but don't be too hesitant because you might be missing a door that could be opening, around the corner. So I can't thank you enough for,
Definitely.
Really a lot of the growth that we've had is because we did take a jump, but because of your invitation to, people on the West Coast that you didn't know, and to say we're opening our doors in our office to our family, and you guys are welcome. And let's talk about how we can be, peers together and build this community. And how can I help you? And that's just the common thread of every single group that I've been a part of since is we're all trying to serve each other. yeah, it's great. We're all trying to learn and grow, but if I can say something in a group forum that might be helpful for somebody else, that almost feels better than a important piece of information that I can get from somebody. It feels really good to be able to say, I helped somebody in some way, and I'm still thinking to myself, I mean, I'm going to be 27 next week, which is really weird to say, but I feel like I'm still a nobody in this world where I'm still paving my way. Yeah. So, no, thank you again.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely. Big kudos to you for giving that to us. Cause I think it really kickstarted our whole, not like our whole networking, but pretty much our whole, getting our faces out there more, cause he's done it very organically, and now it's, on me and Kyleigh for the most part to really do that dirty work, and hopefully it's paying off. Yeah, we're excited to continue.
Awesome. Well, you guys, I want to thank you again. Ernesto, you got anything to say? You good? Are you good?
All I need to say is anybody that's listening or cares to understand is in this industry, if you do the right thing will come to you, and just be patient and understand that this industry is real, and it's been here for a number of years, and we're going to continue to move forward and improve it as with good teams and great intention. And thank you.
All right, guys. Well, hey, high five. Anybody? High five. Boom. Hey, and cheers. Cheers.
Yeah.
To us.
Salud.
Salud. All right.
Thank you, Ricky.